good guys and bad guys, cowboys and Indians, sinners and saints, masters and minions. They're all the same to me. They're all the same to me.
Welcome to Fence Post Politics, the only place for unfiltered, nonsensical, probably fake news that you never asked for. Brought to you by the Burning Daylight Podcast and your host, myself, Matt McKinley, Aaron Ellis, Tim Martin, and Rob Jost. Now let's have a little bit of fun, talk a little politics, and tell a dirty joke or two.
And you call it trick magic, might have fooled everybody, but you didn't pull nothing on me.
Well, welcome back, Daylight Burners. Howdy, Bob. Aaron and Tim and Rob all caught a case of the gays again this week. And, I mean, that shit goes around Denver like you wouldn't believe. The gay just spreads. Like, I don't know what it is about those Denver dudes, but they, just a recurring case of the gays with them.
Sexually transmitted, probably.
It's gotta be airborne and sexually airborne. be a great name for like an R&B band, sexually airborne. I might have to rename this episode. I was gonna call it "Go Forth and Testify," but maybe I'll just have to call it "Sexually Airborne." Feedlot Bob's filling in for those other gaylords, and we got a. It's kind of a weird news cycle here lately. It's been for a month or better. It's been nonstop Israel Gaza, and then it's like the rest of the world caught up and they're like, oh hey, other shit is going on now too, and it's kind of weird with all this, particularly with the Israel stuff, is both major parties are kind of split right down the middle. Like you have the old school establishment types on both sides that are just all in for Israel, all in for Ukraine, more defense spending. And then on the Democrat side, you have like the super progressive left wingers, AOC and Rashida Tlaib, who are kind of anti-Israel, or they're you have to like pare their thinking down to like oppressor versus the oppressed. Like that's the only way the world works for them. And so Israel's the bigger, more powerful state, and Gaza's the brown people that are oppressed, and so therefore they're automatically on the Gaza side. And which, I mean, that's not a wrong position, but it's just like that's their gut reaction, is Israel bad because they're the oppressor. And so you have that wing, and then on the Republican side you have kind of the MAGA wing that are like they're kind of anti-Ukraine, but they're still pretty pro-Israel. And they are all in on fighting China. I don't know if they're really all in on like a hot war with China, but they are all in at like just poking the fuck out of them and trying to get them to react, you know?
Yeah.
So you were in the Marines, and I guess the Marines haven't been like traditional Marines in quite some time, probably since World War II, really, huh? Like as far as like a Marine raider, like where you're you go on a ship and then you assault a beach, and but we haven't had any beaches to assault in quite some time. It's all been sand.
Yeah.
So, but like, did you ever have to get on one of them big ships and go across there, or were you all or did you even deploy over, or you were all stateside?
No, dude, I was in North Carolina the whole time.
And that's the crazy thing once you get into like big army or big military, just like everybody goes through the same boot camp, but then it's just like one guy might be a clerk, you were a
Yeah,
mechanic,
go your
and then
separate ways.
there's the door kickers, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's wild. So you never had to get on one of those big ships or anything, but
No, now the ships, like, when they go out, like, they'll do, like, training exercises and stuff like that, but they just kinda, like, float around. They call them booze cruises. And you just, like, float around and see the world, like the stuff the recruiter promised you, but
rape
no one
rape
actually
the
does it.
Navy sailors.
Yeah.
I I was listening. I think I was listening to Drinking Bros is what I heard it on, but they were talking about when those aircraft carriers dock at some port and all the seamen get to go ashore. They just like drink that entire country out of booze while they're ashore. Like they eat them out of
Yeah.
bacon and drink them completely out of booze. And it's usually like some little Middle Eastern country.
Yeah.
Just like they don't have any bacon anyways, and then you have like 3,000 US seamen that that just storm ashore and it's essentially legalized rape and pillaging, you know.
Right, yeah.
It's crazy. Like I've as any good guy in a American man in his 30s, you pay attention to a lot of like World War II shit because I mean, why wouldn't you? This stuff's fascinating. But
Mhm.
well, and then even like talking to Boots when he was talking about docking in Tokyo Harbor and and having to climb down the side of those ships on the fucking cargo ladder or the
Mhm.
net ladder. That crazy when you move just like huge masses of men to a war zone. It's uh
Oh, it's a
quite the
clusterfuck.
process. Yeah.
Yeah.
We if we ever do get into some like huge, massive scale war like that, we've got to have the cartel on our side because we need them running logistics. Like
Yeah,
the
no doubt.
logistics wins wars. You know, big guns are nice, but if they don't have any bullets, it don't mean dick.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
so yeah, like if there's a shortage of something, let the cartel go find it. They'll they're good at logistics. So that
They're efficient.
some might say the best.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, hopefully nothing nothing spirals out of control like that. I was really worried about the Ukraine stuff, which it seems like that's starting to simmer down a little bit, but
Well, it's taking a
um
back seat for sure to Israel.
yeah, well, and also when I guess the average age of the Ukrainian military man right now is like 43 years old. So their young generation's essentially gone.
Yeah.
Either left the country or died. So yeah, I'm thinking their will to fight's kind of getting sapped pretty quickly, and I don't know. And it's not looking good for them as far as funding goes either, because yeah, we showed them real quick that they don't mean dick when it comes to Israel. You know,
Yeah.
they you ain't on that level, little man. That's yeah, it's crazy, but and then they got this kind of pseudo ceasefire there in Israel now, so like maybe shit's settling down, but like we had the Houthis, I guess, firing missiles at us, and now they intercepted an Iranian drone or something. I don't know, but I would not want to be one of those guys that's just on some bullshit deployment to Iraq right now. They're just like, like
Yeah.
I bet there ain't many people going outside the wire
Yeah.
right now. Like it's a little dicey over there.
Just when you thought it was over.
No shit. And I saw a really great meme the other day, and it was It's that I don't even know what show it is, but it's a really weird looking dude. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? And it was like when you thought you were about to fulfill your God given right as a U.S. military man and go die in a war in Europe, and then they send you back to the sandbox.
Yeah.
Which I guess from a pure strategy standpoint, looking at our military at the moment, if we're gonna fight somewhere, yeah, I guess Middle East would be where I'd want to fight. That's what we are most equipped to do at the moment, and that at least you're not going up against a fucking nation state.
Right.
You know, like if you're going and I guess maybe Iran. That probably would be that'd be a nasty one too. Not that the Iranian military's fierce and powerful, but fucking Iran's like all mountains.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's like
dude,
4 times the size of Iraq. Yeah.
It just hasn't worked so far. So
right. Just like
let's maybe try something else.
Just throw a few more throw a few more American skulls at the problem, see if it works. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like maybe it's simmering back down. Like maybe people were finally realizing, oh, we're like really fucking close to doing this thing. Let's maybe ease off.
Yeah.
Like it got so like it was getting bad enough to that. Like the military commercials, like the recruitment commercials are all badass again, and they're not
Yeah, they're not woke.
Yeah, they're not talking about some fat non-binary lesbian working for the Navy or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not they're back to like the 90s style recruitment videos where you actually wanted to go join up. Yeah, exactly. The Marines always had the best propaganda. Like they
still do.
Yeah. The dress blues, man. Nobody beats the Marine dress blues like that.
They get you.
Yeah, that's what they get a fucking sword, man.
Yeah.
Crazy shit. Well, I didn't pull up the article, but apparently like Ireland's gone full authoritarian now.
I saw that.
That's I'm kind of disappointed in Ireland. I thought they were kind of ungovernable.
Yeah. Well,
well, I guess they're kind of starting to become like I don't want to see anybody die. Like quick preface to that, quick disclaimer. But I do kind of want to see a resurgence of the IRA. Like I love me a good revolutionary movement. Yeah. It's especially from the creature comfort of my recording studio here in the good old US of A. I do love me a good revolutionary movement. Yeah. that I'm not part of. But I've done a little bit of reading on the Irish Irish independence movement, and when those fuckers decide to rebel, they get real violent real quick. So what was the story on these latest riots? It was like it was a bunch of Muslim immigrants. They've been having an increase in crime, and then was a bunch of kids got stabbed or some shit like that. Yeah. Crazy. And well, of course they're stabbed because they don't allow guns over there.
Right.
Because getting stabbed to death is so much better than being shot to death, I suppose. Yeah, definitely more humane. So then, like, was there nothing done about that stabbing? Was that the cause of the riots, or was that?
I really don't know. I didn't. I was listening to something about this a day or two ago.
I've seen a couple podcasts have it on their topics, but I haven't listened to really much of it as far as the lead up to it. But I know like they're either they have passed or they're very, very close to passing a law that pretty much criminalizes any speech that they deem to be, against the state or anti-immigrant,
Right.
making it like a felony, I think, or like, if you if you speak out anti-immigrant at all, then it's just automatically considered a hate crime. And that's the wokest shit I've ever heard, and is coming from like the least politically correct race of people ever.
Yeah, I
I
knew
mean,
I knew something was really going awry over there when I saw the Babylon Bee headline about it.
I know, fucking Babylon Bee. They just keep cranking them out. That is a solid, just a really solid satire site. Like The Onion was really good for a long time, and they kind of fell off. And like Babylon Bee's king of the mountain right now.
I don't
They
know
have
how
not been
long they've
thrown.
been around, but they've got to absolutely just be like, man, business has never been better for us.
I
Like
know.
every
I
year.
feel I feel like a hipster talking, because like I was a fan of the Bee back before they were huge.
Yeah.
And they're super Christian too. So like I grew up, pretty much grew up in church. So like there's a lot of like inside church jokes that really like they hit pretty hard if you're in that, if you grew up in that vein of Christianity. Like you're like, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I see some of those and I'm like, I don't understand what that means, but I'm sure it's funny.
They're they're very one-dimensional jokes. Like they're
Right.
very specific, but it's yeah, if you catch the inside joke of it, it's really funny. Like um like they'll always make fun of the fog machines for the praise and worship bands. They'll
Right.
always they work that into into their jokes quite a bit. And yeah, there for a while, like you had, I think it was like, is it Hillsong, the big Australian mega
Song
church that,
revival.
yeah, I mean, it was like going to like a Grateful Dead concert or some shit,
Yeah.
going to one of their praise and worship shows. It was like, yeah, it was quite the production. Um, anyway, hats off to Babylon Bee. They're solid. But anyway, I'll see if I can find something on this Ireland deal. Um, let's see what Reuters. 3 young children were among 5 people injured in a knife attack in Dublin last Tuesday that sparked riots in the city, which police have not yet ruled out any motive over, including whether it could be terror related. Um, public transport was suspended. Double-decker bus was burned to the ground in front of the Daniel O'Connell statue. That's funny. They smashed a Holiday Inn and a McDonald's, looted a Foot Locker. Even the Irish are gonna take the sneakers. Oh, that's funny. The cop car was also burnt out. Such rioting is almost unprecedented in Dublin. Are you kidding me? They've been rioting in Dublin for like 1,000 years now. Um, there are no far-right parties or politicians elected to parliament, but small anti-immigrant protests have grown in the last year.
Yeah, and they got like Conor McGregor as the figurehead for this
Yeah,
movement.
yeah, and he like denounced the riots and stuff, and but he said the government's got to go,
Yeah.
which I would say he's right. But this is all the whole EU. They have that essentially the open borders shit. Like once they are granted entry to anywhere in Europe. Like it's essentially like moving across the US anymore.
Oh,
Like
no
it's
kidding.
essentially like crossing states here.
Seems
So
seems like it's working out.
yeah, it's seems great. Seems like Ireland's doing fine.
Isn't that
Yeah.
that's a big problem over there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a huge like
All over Europe.
they're having like a legit resurgence of fascism over there now strictly because of the immigration. Uh like there's a right-wing party that's like gaining a lot of popularity in Germany, so keep an eye out for that. Fucking Germans. If I'm racist against anybody, it's the Germans. Goddamn, those fuckers cannot be trusted.
We're 0 for 2. Let's give it one more shot.
Yeah, just let's the last time Germany had a major military, it worked out real great. Yeah, the Dutch just elected a like a huge immigration hawk, right-wing dude. A very anti-Islam guy, but also like the Dutch are trying to just like get rid of any sort of agriculture that's not bug related as well. So that's not a huge surprise. I mean, pendulum thing is that's a real phenomenon. Like
Oh, yeah.
you swing so far to the left, and like we're pretty far left here, it seems like, but like we're not even close to what Europe is.
Right.
And they have a tendency to swing real far back to the right, like real far. Um, and yeah, like Hitler was pretty popular until he started invading other countries. Like they didn't really care too much. I mean, there was a little bit of pushback on the Jew stuff, but it really wasn't until he started invading and annexing other countries that caused the war. Like the Jew thing was it was kind of like the slavery issue, like it was all over a bunch of other shit, but the slavery was, like they that was like the rallying cry to push it over the edge.
Right.
And that's the Jew thing, more than, I mean, it was awful. Don't not, huge disclaimer there. Apparently it did happen, and it was bad. But also like our prosecution of the war was also not very humane either. Like we firebombed Dresden and Tokyo, and dropped a couple nukes. So we really highlight how bad Germany was to kind of ease off all that, kind of divert little sleight of hand.
Well, you know what's crazy when you think about World War II, and that is, all the focus is put on Germany and like the atrocities committed by the Nazis. Which is like, I'm not saying that they shouldn't focus on those, but it like really overshadows what the Japanese were doing to their people.
Right.
Like,
and then
a lot more lives than
yeah.
the Nazis.
Yeah, the Chinese got fucked. The Koreans got fucked pretty hard too.
Yeah.
And then the Russians raped their way across Germany. Like I mean, don't get me wrong, the Germans were pretty awful going eastward, but like the awfulness was met equally on the other side coming back into Germany. Boy, they raped a lot of German women.
Yeah.
Like there was an like an obscene amount of abortions performed when the Red Army marched through, or after the Red Army marched through. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was it was pretty bad. That Eastern Front shit was it makes it makes the Western Front look like Disneyland.
Yeah, all these world wars I feel like are I mean, I haven't really watched any of those Marvel movies, but I feel like I kind of get the gist of it. And it's like we got the same cast each time, but like, you know, maybe some of the guys switch teams, and it's like, oh, what's it about, you know, this time? And we're just about to get the next sequel.
I know, and like the more I've read Washington's farewell address a couple times, and like every time I read it, I feel like he's just like looking over at Europe, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel looking at Israel and Gaza. Like I just look at the whole thing, and I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you people?"
Dude, right?
Like, you know, it just like I'm all the way around on that. Like our involvement, Israel, Palestine, Iran, all of it. I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with all of us?
Yeah.
It's dumb. And then when you look at how the world's lining up now, like we couldn't be further away from Washington's advice about not getting into entangling alliances. Like we're just trying to strike them everywhere.
Yeah.
So we can build another military base, you know, like we're trying to go back to all the islands that we hopped to on back in World War II, and we're trying to re-up agreements with them in case we got to go fight you know, China in Taiwan. And it's like, fuck, man. It's kind of nice having an ocean between anybody else. You're like, well, let's maybe use that to our advantage.
Yeah, like, hey, just be cool for like a minute, you know,
Right.
like lay low for like just.
Yeah, like why don't we build shit and we sell it to them, and it works for them, it works for us, and then we don't have to go send a bunch of weapons over there and then eventually men to fight them. Like how about we just sell them shit instead?
Yeah, man, the Israel and Palestine thing, I feel like it's like it drives me crazy when people try to like two people are trying to get in a fight and everyone around tries to break it up. It's like, man, but just if they're not trying to like kill each other, just let them fight, you know?
Yeah.
Israel and Palestine just keep trying to like, fuck it, just like let them fight at this point. See what happens.
I just the thing that gets me with that is how committed are we really to this, you know, rules-based world order or whatever that we supposedly subscribe to, you know, like we got to support Ukraine because, you know, you can't invade a sovereign country unprovoked, you know.
Right.
We would never ever do such a thing. We would never occupy you know, another country unless you don't look at Syria and Iraq. We're out of Afghanistan now, so that's good.
Yeah, but we had democracy.
Yeah, they had democracy for like 30 minutes once we turned it over to them. Yeah, it's that's crazy. And the thing that worries me the most is if you look at how all these things have played out through history. Like we funded the Mujahideen in Afghanistan to help topple the, you know, just essentially to bleed the Soviets dry.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of those very same guys that we trained and funded and armed and paid, yeah, I mean funded, yeah, but like a lot, ends up flying a couple planes into our buildings and draws us back into Afghanistan to bleed us dry, death by 1,000 cuts. And you're like,
you know, a paranoid guy could think that maybe this stuff is all by design, that we keep making our own enemies. Like,
yeah,
put them in the incubator and it's like, hey, we train them and then just put them in the incubator. Like, hey, 10, 15 years, like this will be our next war.
Yeah. Oh, it's like the Hamas fighters right now, that the age of their like average dude is, you know, would have been growing up, been a kid in like 2006 when this whole like essentially blockade of Gaza started, and like the most modern, I guess, iteration of the hostilities. like that's all those Hamas dudes have known is just war with Israel. So
Right.
I mean, are they animals or are they just like victims of their environment? You know, like what else are they going to be? I just they got nowhere else to go. They got nothing. I mean, I don't know. They just like I don't know. Like what else are they supposed to be? You know, it's crazy. But
Yeah.
like my boy is 6 years old. So I look in 20 years, like, is he going to be on the verge of being drafted to go fight in Ukraine to put down a bunch of Ukrainian Nazis that are shooting back at him with American made weapons that we gave them? You know, like is that what is going to be in 20 years? Because it seems to be the kind of the trajectory. We pump a bunch of money and weapons into somebody, and about 20 years later, we go fight them again.
Right.
And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. In the meanwhile, like it's because I've talked to a handful of like sure enough operator types that know a little bit about the whole Ukrainian situation, and they're like, dude, this is a, like next level type of warfare where it's like it's a combination of like everything super high tech intelligence based combined with World War I trench warfare. You know,
Right.
just heavy artillery bombardment and then commercial sized like Walmart drones everywhere.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and they're like calling in airstrikes with these little cheapo drones. And
That's insane.
yeah, it's just like drones everywhere, whether they're they're just gathering intel or they're they're like those little suicide drones, which is I guess essentially just like a weed eater with you know it's like the paraglider deal. It's
Right.
essentially the drone version of that, and with a warhead on it, and it's just fucking crazy. And you're like, wow, so that's what's going to happen if we get into a fight with a real country, is
Yeah.
as we're going to essentially revert back to trench warfare.
Oh, can you imagine? We've been getting our ass kicked for 20 years by people who are like, for all intents and purposes, still in the Stone Age.
Like we have a far superior force, far superior everything, and still lose because there's no clear path to victory. There's no clear plan of what victory's supposed to look like.
Right.
And it's just like, but we gotta exterminate evil.
Right.
Okay.
We did it.
Like, as far as I checked, last time I looked in the Bible, God hadn't exterminated evil yet. So like,
Right.
yeah,
Uncle Sam will take care of it, though.
yeah, Uncle Sam will get it done. Yeah, I don't know. It's wild, but it'd be interesting to see like if this shit continues to pop off in Ireland, like what's the white man's guerrilla warfare going to look like? Like
Yeah.
we know what the Arab middle guerrilla warfare looks like. We know what jungle guerrilla warfare looks like. We don't know what European guerrilla warfare is going to look like, at least modern day, anyways.
Right.
Yeah, and if it's going to be anybody, it'll be the Irish. They're up for a good scrap.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's
Uh,
that one. That was just from the other day, wasn't it? That one's still really new.
yeah, it was
Or at least that's when I heard
last
about it.
it was last week, I believe. Yeah, I don't know. It's but that yeah, that migrant issue is, I mean, it's a huge issue here. I mean, you'd have a better idea about it being down in Texas, but like not that Nevada's close to the border, but there's, I mean, a lot of Mexicans in Nevada, and with the Mexicans comes the Hondurans and the Nicaraguans and Guatemalans and all them too, and so I mean they're just well, in ag industry, like especially dairy, like that's their entire workforce. But on the European side of thing, it's all Arabs and North Africans. It seems like,
Right.
and they're all just happen to be fleeing from these fucking wars that we started over there. Yeah. So, are we gonna start getting suicide bombed by pissed off Frenchmen at some point? we're gonna have like the like Norwegian Osama bin Laden. I mean, I don't want a pissed off Viking, so like maybe
No.
I guess the good thing about the Europeans is they're too busy fighting each other that they're never gonna cross an ocean to come fight us again, I don't think. But and the Arabs just don't have the technology yet, which is probably good.
Yeah, I feel like maybe America would realize that we've bitten off a little bit more than we could chew if we went to war with white people.
Yeah. Yeah. Like with real militaries.
Real countries, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, with like large actual armies. Like sure Iraq had an army, but I mean kinda.
Yeah.
We showed them, kinda. They had an army. Like the insurgents were way more of a problem than the actual Iraqi army.
They had military uniforms at least.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of like Iraq. There's a lot of like sure enough military like tactician types are like war with Iran's not going to be good. Like it's not going to be fun. It's a big country and it's not a bunch of flat desert that you can just roll across.
Right.
Like it's more like Afghanistan terrain, and yeah, we saw how that's turned out for fucking everybody.
Yeah.
At least Afghanistan, we're not alone with getting our ass kicked. And I guess Vietnam either. We weren't the first ones to get our ass kicked in Vietnam. So, I don't know. I really hope it doesn't escalate there. But again, also like hedge your bets. That's if there's a place to go to war, the Middle East is where we're far more likely to be the best suited.
Right.
We got 20 years of we got like 40 years of experience at this point.
Yeah. Gosh dang.
Yeah,
Hasn't the United States pretty much been involved in a war since 1776?
Yeah, because if you count the Indian Wars, which you have to.
Yeah.
Pretty much, really, because once the Indians were finally kind of whooped, we did the whole Spanish American War thing, and then from there right into World War One. And yeah, then there was about 20 years of almost 30 years of peace, and about 25 years, and then World War II. From there, we immediately went to Korea, and then also went to meddling around pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Latin America, Middle East, and yeah, then countless since Korea. Fuck, like not a ton of huge ones, but countless like little ones, like shit that we don't even know about.
Oh yeah.
Still, I mean, like when those special forces dudes got killed in Niger, everybody's like, what the fuck are we doing in Niger? Turns out, we got the world's largest drone base in Niger. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. We didn't even know we were fucking there. It's wild. But this one is an interesting one. I don't know like how prominent this movement is in Germany, but it's called Citizens of the Reich. And this dude declared himself a king.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. So on the outskirts of the eastern German town of Wittenberg, a corrugated iron gate painted with green leaves welcomes visitors to the Königreich Deutschland, the Kingdom of Germany. Those who step through the gate to the cluster of buildings on the other side are entering a place that styles itself a country, complete with its own flag, laws, currency, and ID cards. The so-called Kingdom of Germany was founded by former chef and karate teacher Peter Fitzek. This guy's awesome. Who anointed himself as king in 2012 in an elaborate ceremony complete with a crown and scepter. That's awesome.
This is a Disney Pixar movie.
Fuck yeah! It's the AI version.
Yeah.
Fitzek and his followers are part of a movement known as the Reichsbürger, or the Citizens of the Reich, a loose grouping of, in some cases, violent extremists and conspiracy theorists who reject the legitimacy of the modern German Republic. Long dismissed as malcontents and oddballs, the Reichsbürger have become increasingly radicalized and are considered a security threat by German authorities, who launched their latest raid on Wednesday on the Wittenberg site. Fitzek, 58, ran unsuccessfully as a mayor and a member of the German parliament before deciding that founding the place was the only answer to the mass manipulation he saw in German society. I want to talk to this dude.
Yeah.
He sounds interesting as fuck. Crazy, but interesting.
Oh yeah.
His territory has grown to encompass several different sites across Germany. Has more than 5,000 self-proclaimed citizens. Well, I mean that's
not bad.
U.S. militaries went to war with less than that, or against less than that. Like full scale war against Al Qaeda, who had like a couple hundred members at the time.
Right.
They tend to be people with a pioneering spirit who want to make a positive change in this world. Fitzek told AFP in Wittenberg, the group's original base. We are open to all people who have their heart in the right place. He said, sitting on a salmon-colored sofa. They're anti-vax. I don't know if that means anti-COVID vaccine or anti-vaccine totally, but
yeah, see, they muddied those waters so bad.
Right, because like I'm not a fan of the COVID vaccine, but I'm pretty well like convinced on the efficacy of vaccines in general.
Right.
Like we see them in cattle and horses all the time. Like shit works.
Right.
That one, the latest one, it didn't, and it was sold on false pretenses. So that was why I didn't do it. But anyway, so the Wittenberg complex comprises several office buildings, a carpentry shop, a gift shop selling items made on site, and a canteen that serves only vegan food. All right, I'm out on this guy now.
Yeah.
About 30 people live and work on the site in a commune style arrangement. Also, they're communists. Okay. They were all non-smokers, non-drinkers, and not vaccinated against COVID-19. Kingdom has its own health insurance system, for which this is a prerequisite. This fits
Not being vaccinated is a prerequisite.
I guess so. Which I guess if they have their own healthcare system, that makes sense. I mean, if they're worried about cardiac issues, then that would make sense.
Good for this guy. The world's falling apart, and here he is out chasing his dreams and starting a cult. Like,
be the change in the world that you want to be, that you want to see.
Exactly, man.
You want to go lead a cult? Go lead a cult. Find some charisma and just get it done.
I've always wanted to start a cult.
Yeah, I've halfway joked many times on the show about starting a cult, and it does seem fun, particularly for the guy that starts it. So I mean, like I see the appeal. The followers, I've yet to see them really make out very well. I've not heard of one where the cult turned out good for you, the average follower. You know.
Yeah.
Unless you consider the Mormons a cult, which it's a religion.
Arguably the most successful.
Yeah. I consider it religion. It's I think it's got to the size that is it a cult? You tell me, but it seems like there's a lot of them. So and a lot of their average, followers have become pretty prosperous. So therefore maybe they broke that cycle of nothing ever good happening for the followers. So
right.
At least they haven't had a mass suicide ritual that I'm aware of. They've had a few smaller ones, but nothing like Jamestown level or Jonestown. Right. Jonestown. Yeah, Jonestown. Yeah. How good of a persuader did that guy have to be?
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. Like that's it's kind of impressive. This guy too, like I don't know what he looks like, but I'm picturing the Argentina guy. Yeah. Pointing out, he strode around the Wittenberg site, pointing out everything from eco-friendly heating systems to a coin press machine for making new German marks. I wonder what his German marks are made of. In the latest raid, investigators said Wednesday they targeted 10 sites belonging to the kingdom on suspicion that it was running banking and insurance businesses without the necessary permits. Of course, they didn't raid them for any like crimes against humanity. Yeah. It was for operating without a permit. You can't use your money that's probably worth more than ours.
Yeah.
If he's actually minting his own coins, they've got to be made out of something, so therefore they have some material value.
If you start printing your own made up currency, it is inherently more valuable than the United States Treasury simply because there's less of it out there.
I'm gonna start printing the burning daylight dick marks.
Yeah.
It's just a pink bill with a huge dick on it. Burning daylight dick marks. We'd have to spell it like German though. Like it'd be like Deutsch marks. The Deutsch marks. What was the next one that I had? Oh yeah, Hunter Biden's gonna testify before Congress.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. And apparently he wants it in a public hearing, but the GOP wanted it behind closed doors.
Are you gonna rough him up or something?
I don't know. Like, is the little bow tie dude gonna play bad cop?
I would have thought it'd be the other way around.
Well, it's not going to be McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy can't play bad cop.
No, I just mean that I would have thought that the GOP would have wanted it out and
right. You would think so.
Yeah.
You let me see if that was like top headline on Drudge, and then they just kind of like meh. It's old news. Let's see. Or Biden.
Man, they are sure dragging that out and making that a production, that Hunter Biden deal.
I know it. And they're also dragging out the Trump deal. And it really is like death by 1,000 cuts with Trump. Like And once again, I'm not advocating for any violence or whatever, but I also want to see Donald Trump convicted in Georgia state court and like Brian Kemp have to try to get Donald Trump extradited to Georgia. Like if I was Trump, I'd just like, fuck you. I'm staying at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
No, I'm not turning myself in. Come get me. We just have a Mexican standoff at the Florida Georgia line. Let's see what's the latest on Hunter. Okay, so this is from MSNBC, so you know it's going to be real news. Republicans hope to avoid sunlight when Hunter Biden testifies. Hunter Biden wants to answer Republicans' questions in view of the public. Oversight Committee James Comer, on the other hand, prefers secrecy. They issued a subpoena to Hunter Biden 3 weeks ago. Shortly thereafter,
conspiracy theories.
Yeah. President Joe Biden's son has been at the center of GOP conspiracy theories for quite a while, and it was inevitable that the party would take this step. They got a lot of records that like while there's not really any smoking gun, boy, there's a lot of fire. There's a lot of smoke. There is a lot of smoke.
Yeah.
Little hazy from all that smoke.
A lot of people have been put in prison for far less.
Far less. They sentenced the dude to 6 years in federal pound me in the ass prison for a meme about texting to vote to Hillary Clinton. Like literally a meme, and this dude got 6 years in federal prison. Yeah. So shortly thereafter, Hunter Biden's lawyer, Abby Lowell, issued a statement deriding the subpoena as yet another political stunt aimed at distracting from the glaring failure of Comer and his MAGA allies to provide a single one of their wild, or to prove a single one of their wild and now discredited conspiracies about the Biden family. Same statement went on to note that Hunter Biden still welcomed the opportunity to speak to the GOP-led committee in a public forum and at the right time. You know what? I don't doubt that motherfucker is going to be able to outclass whoever's questioning him, because the members outside of like Thomas Massey, and probably only Thomas Massey on the House side, they're idiots. And so this guy could probably just talk in circles and make them look foolish and get them frustrated. And they don't really want any answers. They just want to grandstand for 5 minutes and badger the whoever is testifying to make them, it's for cable TV news, so they can get the soundbite.
Yeah, we have a weird system.
I know. I'm starting to become more of a fan of the parliamentary system just because it's far more entertaining. Like they'll call each other a cunt on the floor of Parliament. I mean, I guess Large Marge, she called Bobes a little bitch on the House floor. So I mean, we're not far from it. Yeah, large Marge. She might be my favorite political figure of the last 10 years.
She's wild.
She's wild. Boebert's up there too. She is just straight hot white trash. She is the most white trash of them all. Hunter Biden, on the other hand, he's like prep boy white trash. Like he's not blue blood money, but his dad works high up for all those blue blood types, so he got to go to all those parties, but he was still like, he wasn't really part of the crowd. Kind of like Trump, him and Trump are the same way,
He's the kind of guy that has a bunch of money and chooses to smoke crack. Like he doesn't smoke crack just because he's poor.
Yeah, no, he likes crack.
Yeah.
And for the record, there's plenty of evidence to support that fact. So that's not a defamation deal. There's plenty of evidence to support the statement that Hunter Biden likes him some crack.
As evidenced by the many pictures of him smoking crack.
I'm not judging him for the crack. I kind of want to party one night with Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
I don't want to do crack, but I want to be in the room when it happens, you know. I want to see the whole thing play out.
For sure.
Let's see. 3 weeks ago, so the same statement went on to note that Hunter Biden still welcomed the opportunity to speak to the GOP-led committee in a public forum and at the right time. 3 weeks later, the use of the word public is relevant anew. NBC News reported Hunter Biden is open to testifying publicly before the Republican-led House Oversight Committee on December 13th. House Republicans subpoenaed the president's son earlier this month and summoned him to appear for a closed-door transcribed interview as part of an escalation of Republicans' impeachment inquiry into the president. We have seen you use closed-door sessions to manipulate, even distort the facts and misinform the public. We therefore propose opening the door, Lowell said in his latest correspondence with Comer. I agree. I want it all. I want it all in public, televised. Like, I'll make some popcorn and watch that shit.
Yeah, no doubt.
I hope Hunter's on crack when he testifies.
Yeah.
Like, let's go all the way. With like, I want him to show up with a hooker, and you know, she's just like got one tit hanging out, and he's just like continually rubbing his nose.
Overdose.
Yeah. Yeah. His blood pressure is like 250 over 210. So I don't know what the strategy was for the Republicans doing closed door. That just looks bad.
What's this hearing even about? Is this still on the laptop thing, or is this the laundering thing, or
who knows?
what are we on right now?
It's not going to do anything. They barely have the House. They can't get a majority in the Senate, let alone 2/3. So like, and then they can't charge a private citizen for it with anything. You know, they can only charge the an elected official under the impeachment process. But
Right.
Even then, that's not it's not a legally, like, they can't punish you with like jail time or anything.
Right.
They can just remove you from office and bar you from running again, which they're trying to do with Trump. But so in Colorado, they tried to keep him off the ballot the other day, and the judge ruled against it. But she also said in her ruling that Trump incited an insurrection, but she couldn't remove him from the ballot under the 14th Amendment. But that seems like a wild statement from a judge, considering there's been no charges of inciting an insurrection, except in the impeachment process, which he beat. So therefore, ipso facto, he is not guilty. And so, like,
reason.
Yeah, but here a judge is declaring that he did incite an insurrection. Like, well, there's been no conviction, let alone, or no charges, let alone a conviction. So that's just patently false, legally, which you'd think a judge would know that. But
yeah, well, it's not about being true; it's about saying it enough.
Yeah, exactly. If I say it enough, it makes it true. Let's see. So then we got Kevin McCarthy, I guess. I just read a bit of an article before we got on here. I'll pull it up. But I guess Kevin McCarthy's looking at getting out of Congress and not even finishing his term. Multiple GOP lawmakers expect former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to step down from his seat before the end of the year. This is from Axios. The potential exit of McCarthy, who privately told donors he's looking to get the hell out, according to a source familiar with the conversation, could leave the House GOP with an even narrower majority. I have another week or so to decide, because if I decide to run again, I have to know in my heart I'm giving 110%. I have to know that I want to do that. I also have to know if I'm going to walk away, that I'm going to be fine with walking away. So I'm really taking some time right now. So he is shopping for a board position on Raytheon or Boeing or Northrop Grumman or something before he goes ahead and steps down. It's future position that he's angling for.
Yeah.
And that as we all know, like this is, it's like do you ever watch basketball?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody knows Shaq made his money in college. Like, yeah, everybody know you don't make your money in Congress unless you're Aunt Nancy or Crenshaw. But like, you really make your money after you're out.
Right.
You go sit on a board of a military industrial complex, corporation, or you go work for a lobbying firm, and you make buku money. Speculation over McCarthy's potential departure escalated ahead of the Thanksgiving recess, with multiple GOP sources noting he posted a photo on Instagram in which his district office appeared to be in the process of being packed. Well, multiple Republicans raised concern that California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom could hold McCarthy's seat open if he decides to resign in the new year. GOP's razor-thin majority is already on the verge of being diminished further by the potential expulsion of Representative George Santos in a vote expected on Friday. They are going ham trying to throw people out of Congress here lately. I hope this George Santos sticks around for a long time too. He's like a gay Latino Rob Ford.
I know it's been said many times.
He's yeah. Wasn't that that Toronto mayor? It was Rob Ford, or also liked him some crack.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so they're gonna vote. I guess George Santos, he went ham in an interview, and he was bitching about all of his colleagues in Washington, how they don't show up to vote because they're too hungover, or they're too worried about getting laid, and he was going ham on him, which is fun, but the dude hasn't told the truth about anything to this point that I'm aware of. So while I want it to be true, who knows? It's coming from that fucking guy. You know?
They're all showing up hungover in basketball shorts and Carhartt hoodies.
No shit. And they're not hungover from the booze. They're just hungover from the latest stroke.
Yeah. I can't believe Mitch McConnell gave us another one.
Oh fuck, Mitch McConnell. I gotta find my Mitch McConnell reel that I made. I was quite proud of it. It was I thought the timing on it. I mean, I'm like, I don't like to toot my own horn too much, but I thought I really did a nice job with that one. It was I worked hard on it, you know. I really worked hard on it.
I feel like those Mitch McConnell, all those Mitch McConnell reels went away too soon.
I know.
About what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
Don't waste time, don't nurse around fairy tale, blood and wine, turtle on the way down the line. But at least they're on Tweedle, but the rounds I sold to and through, live that doggone space and time.
I was proud of that one.
Did they ever give a satisfactory answer for what the hell was going on with that guy?
No, not even like Rand Paul went off about that. He's like, this is completely unacceptable. I've got a lot of questions about his health. They said he was tired at one point, and yeah, but he also like I don't know. It was like last year sometime, like January, February, something there. I think he fell and like hit his head pretty good too. So I'm
Oh yeah.
like, motherfucker is 80 something years old. You know, goddamn, they're pretty brittle, and it's not.
Yeah,
What
well,
was
you
Go
probably
ahead.
shouldn't be in Congress if it's like a strong breeze could like jeopardize your health. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah, it's like Dianne Feinstein at 91 years old is
Oh
not the
man.
same as Boots O'Neill at 91 years old. You know, like
Right.
they're.
She
I
died,
mean,
didn't she?
yeah, she
Oh
died.
God.
She was, and Jimmy Carter's wife died too, I guess. I didn't know she was
Yeah.
still alive. Apparently, like it looks like Jimmy Carter is just like part of his wheelchair now. He's just like melted into the wheelchair. he's he's 99 years old. Oh, speaking of which, Henry Kissinger died too. Um, he was 100. So, um, there's been meme after meme after meme over the past several years when somebody dies. It's the Grim Reaper at the claw machine. He's like, dang it,
Yeah.
is Henry Kissinger even in here? I finally got him. That man, 900 years old for that old bastard. Yeah, he was kind of not great either. Anyway, what I is McCarthy, I guess, you know, going back on the McCarthy thing, is he just trying to fuck the Republicans now? Because he has no real duty there. I mean, he's just a member of Congress. So like, why not just ride it out and then retire?
Dude, I think he just wants out of there.
Maybe so. It's not like you have to go to show up for a vote. Like nobody actually expects you to do that anymore. So
Yeah. I don't know. I would just think that I would want to get the hell away from there.
oh, I would too. I would too. But I mean, I don't know. I've got a little too much. I've been around my dad too much. I'd throw some bombs before I
Yeah,
left. You know?
I probably would too, personally.
um.
Especially if you know you've already checked out. You know, like might as
Yeah.
well just have some fun.
Yeah. Just fuck it. Let's stir it up a little bit. You want to hear about the meth underpants gnomes, or how politics has invaded the sexual kink scene?
Well, I always go meth number 1.
I mean, solid choice. So it's from the Daily Mail. Baby-faced Mr. Big of Perth. So Australia, Perth drug trade. Age just 15 is arrested with a bag of meth and a bag of ecstasy hidden in his underpants. 15-year-old boy has been exposed as an alleged Mr. Big of methamphetamine dealing in Perth. Police arrested a baby-faced teenager at a home in the suburbs of Wanneroo. Fucking love Aussies.
All their words, all their towns sound made up.
I know. He had a 30-gram bag of meth and 30 grams of ecstasy hidden in his underpants. That's isn't that a sizable amount of 30 grams? That'd be a little over, because 28 ounce. Oh no, 30 grams. 28 grams is an ounce, I think. So that's a little over an ounce.
Sounds
I don't know
right.
how much. I don't know how big that'd be for. Is that the guy?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering.
He kind of looks like a big ogre, don't he? Especially if he's 15. Fuck.
Yeah, no kidding.
They reportedly said he had managed to develop such a high status in the drug trade that he sold only to other dealers. Huh. The teenager's arrest was made during an operation targeting another drug dealer. I would have to say that we were shocked that a 15-year-old has got access to these quantities of drugs and has the capability of then dealing them to others. They probably raided the wrong house and they just planted drugs on this dude to save face. I swear to God, this 15-year-old fuck is running the entire meth trade here. Yeah, there's like, fuck, wrong house again. Lock him up. we'll put some meth in his underwear. That was not the one that I had originally looked for. Let me. I know I sent. Here we. Yeah, this is one I was really looking for, and I haven't read this whole article, but it seems fun. Drug suspect claims someone put meth in his underwear while he slept. This is where
what are the chances you pulled up the wrong meth underwear story?
I know it. Who knew that meth and underwear went together like lamb and tuna fish?
Yeah.
When a corrections officer found a plastic cylinder containing methamphetamine under his penis, a Florida man, of course it's Florida. God bless Florida. Florida man denied ownership of the narcotics and claimed to be unsure how the package got in his underwear, according to an arrest affidavit. The discovery of drugs in the drawers of Caleb Phillips, 46, came yesterday evening as he undressed from his civilian clothing and changed into his jail clothing at Indian River County Jail. He was arrested on a warrant charging him with failure to appear in court in connection with a pending 2022 DUI case. Seen above, Phillips reportedly told a sheriff's deputy that he did not place the cylinder in his underwear. It speculated that the meth was somehow placed there while he was asleep.
Happens to the best of us.
I mean, it happens every day.
Yeah, who hasn't woken up with a tube of meth in their underpants?
It's a real crisis. It's a real pandemic. Like, that's the real pandemic is these motherfuckers slipping meth into my goddamn drawers while I sleep. He did not identify who purportedly accessed his underwear for the meth delivery. That is some great writing right there. Like, he did not identify who purportedly accessed his underwear for the meth delivery. That is awesome. While disavowing knowledge of the cylinder, Phillips advised that he believed it contained Advil pills. Cops noted the meth was inside a small package of Advil inside the cylinder, indicating that Phillips was aware of what the clear container held.
This dude's like, look, there's probably not a tube of meth in my underpants, and if there is, it's Advil.
Like, he's like, man, I had a weird fucking dream.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it. Weird fucking dream, but I have vague recollections of some dude lifting up my dick and sliding this thing in my underwear. Looked like it might have been Advil. I couldn't tell you for sure, but honestly, I don't know who put it there.
That's just the logical assumption. Is that it's Advil.
I'm assuming it's Advil, but it could be anything, man. He was charged with narcotics possession and smuggling contraband into a detention facility, both of which are felon. Oh fuck, man. So he was in for most likely a misdemeanor, and now he got 2 felonies. Methamphetamine's a hell of a drug. He's been held without bond. His rap sheets include prior convictions for DUI, resisting arrest, marijuana possession, fleeing or eluding possession of drug paraphernalia, leaving the scene of an accident, disorderly intoxication, as opposed to orderly intoxication.
I was just going to say, that's the only kind I've ever had.
Yeah, and driving without a license. Oh, but who has he hurt? Who has he hurt? Oh, God bless Florida. God bless Florida. How's Texas? Texas gets pretty wild too.
Man, it's pretty quiet in our neck of the woods.
Yeah. So you're like north of Dallas and that part of the world?
Yeah, it's like kind of northwest.
Okay. Yeah. So you're in. Okay. So you're before it like gets into like mega ranch country, but like as it's going into like smaller horse farms as you get closer to Dallas. Yeah. That's not a bad area though.
No, it's great. Like we do go to like Fort Worth and stuff. I try not to go through Dallas if I can avoid it. But like you get there, it is sure enough the big city. Like big city on a whole other level.
Yeah, Dallas is rather large. I mean, it's big. And then you add Fort Worth in on all that too, and it's a lot of fucking people. A lot of people.
They'll drive fast and aggressive. I kind of like it.
Yeah, Texans are known for that. That's because they don't ever have any real weather, so they don't ever have to really drive slow. And then once they do get some weather, they don't know how to fucking drive.
Oh no, they back off.
It's funny, or they'll just put it in 4-wheel drive and speed up, and you're like, oh. I mean, it's not gonna the 4-wheel drive is not gonna help you stop at all.
Right.
It maybe it'll slow down your spin a little bit, but yeah, if that, I don't know. I think I got oh yeah, then we got the kink one too. That
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
The
I heard a little bit about it on Drinking Bros today, but I was working out, so I wasn't really paying a ton of attention. So Washington Post, well, let's go to that one. I want to go to the original source. WAPO lib. It was a MAGA dom or something like that is what they said.
Yeah.
I'm not real well versed on on all these terms, so you'll have to. I don't know if you are.
Yeah, why you just assume I know?
I'm not assuming anything.
You happen to be right, but
yeah, I don't know. It's all interesting, but where the
well, I
well, I
think
can't find
think
the
the
original.
doms are the dominators and the subs are the submissive ones. I'm guessing.
I'm guessing so, but all right. So Washington Post popped an eye-popping report on the rise of political humiliation Tuesday, interviewing libtard subs who fantasize about being dominated by MAGA doms and vice versa. Journalist Hallie Lieberman opened her article with a transcript from a political humiliation video. Well, we got to read that, which featured a dominatrix trying to persuade beta liberals to vote Republican for Daddy Trump. Holy shit.
People need therapy.
Oh, and it's a paywall. You fuck you. All right. Well, that's disappointing. There we go. The dominatrix who voted for former President Donald Trump twice, but now supports Ron DeSantis. What did you do to turn off the dominatrix, Donald? What did you do? She told Washington Post she earns 6 figures annually with her niche content. Good for you. Lieberman also spoke to a 33-year-old Republican whose day job involves monitoring politics and liberal media for an unnamed radio host, but who runs the fetish group MAGA Doms /Dom, the Doms with 2 M's and an E, and Libtard Subs by night. On MAGA Doms and Libtard Subs, members post requests such as looking for a MAGA Dom to red pill me and convince me to share my wife. What the fuck? Who reported that one man described his fantasy as wearing a Trump dog collar sold on Trump's campaign website and being walked around Walmart to pick out a dog bone. Huh.
These each paragraph looks like those, remember those magnets that like your aunt would have on the refrigerator?
Yeah.
One was a word.
Yeah, it's Mad Lib. They're just like somebody.
That's what it sounds like.
Holy shit. Another man who described himself as very, very, very much a liberal told the Washington Post that he fantasized about Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, forcing him to vote straight red Donald Trump. Yet another person reportedly fantasized about having sex with people she finds repulsive, including Trump, Osama bin Laden, and Hell's Angels bikers. That is quite the motley crew there. That, man. Huh. So I wonder if this is my buddy Rob that was being interviewed by the by the Washington Post. He loves him some Marjorie Taylor Greene, and he is very much a lefty. And he also like he'd get down with Boebert too. I can guarantee that. So Rob, if you were voted or if you were interviewed by the Washington Post, blink twice. The article also documented Republicans who fantasized about being punished for voting for Donald Trump. 60-year-old male dominatrix named Master Black Satyr Dragon Wolf. That's
his Christian name.
Yeah, that's his government name. Master Black Satyr Dolphin Wolf. Dragon Wolf, not Dolphin. Dolphin would be even better. Dolphin Wolf. Master Black Satyr Dragon Wolf told the Washington Post that he engaged in BDSM with a 22-year-old straight college student who wanted to be punished by a person of color because he voted for Trump. Oh, so he had a gay dude. Okay. During their encounter, Wolf reportedly told the student, "I will tear your ass apart if you ever vote for Donald Trump or any other stinking conservative Republicans. I'll let you go into moderates, but if I hear Trump or Cruz or even any member of the Bush family, you're not going to sit down for days." Oh, what the fuck?
That is
God
the
bless.
most
God
wild
bless the
news
internet.
article I've ever read.
Oh, holy shit!
And I'm saying that after we just read 2 about meth and underwear.
I know it. We really went heavy on the underpants meth gnomes. I'm very tempted to sign up for the Washington Post just to read this full article, but I'm gonna try the Wayback.
Join that Facebook group.
No shit. It's like joining nonviolent equestrians. I don't really want to post. I want to observe.
Yeah.
It's Facebook people watching.
Right.
So I'm gonna try the Wayback Machine, see if anybody's archived this, and no, hmm. I don't know how to work the Wayback Machine. I think is the. Oh, maybe we got one. Maybe. Oh, access denied. Damn you. Huh. All right. Well, so much for that. I'm gonna have to see if I can find that original story and see what the actual transcript of this conversation. Because if it was better than what we already read, I don't know how. That's hilarious. People are in some weird shit, dude. I thought I was like explorative and promiscuous. Like, holy shit, dude. I'm very vanilla compared to the internet, dude.
In therapy.
Yeah. It's yeah, I look like a good Christian boy compared to the rest of the internet. Well, shit. I think that covers my topics for this week. You had anything you wanted to cover?
No, just it was all about the meth and underwear, and we got that covered. So
We got that covered.
Yeah.
We got that. We got that in droves.
Yeah.
We got meth, underpants, gnomes, and droves. We knocked off a couple olds this episode. I mean, R.I.P. to Mrs. Carter. I don't know anything about you, but
She'll be missed.
yeah, I think so. And Kissinger, gone too soon. Some would say gone too soon. Just spring chicken, that fella.
Yeah.
All right, Bob, this has been fun. I enjoyed the shit out of it.
Me too. Thanks, man.
Yeah, good luck on your new venture up in Idaho. You'll be a little closer. Well, when you say you're heading up there that way?
Like right before Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah.
What parts of Idaho?
Yeah, it's Marsing, so it's right outside of Boise.
Okay.
Yeah, like right there along the Snake River.
Nice.
40 miles from Ontario, Oregon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you coming to Elko this year?
Maybe. We'll see.
You should.
yeah, we'll see what the new life is like. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be busy.
Well, that's a good thing. Well, if you
Yeah.
can make it, Elko's a big time. I need to get in touch with my venue and make sure we're still on. But as far as I know, we're back in action. I hope so. I got hotel rooms.
I've
rented,
always
so
wanted to check that out.
yeah, it's pretty cool. So I just got to confirm with my venue that we're still on. But yeah. As far as I know, Burning Daylight Does Elko is on again, and
Hell yeah.
it'll be fun. So, thanks for filling in, Bob. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Of course, I hope those other guys recover from the gayness, and eventually, I think it's kind of like malaria. You never truly get over the gayness, from what I understand. Like I don't know. You'd have to talk to Mike Pence. He was big into that conversion stuff. I don't know what his success rate was, but
Pray the gay away.
yeah.
Thoughts and prayers for y'all's gay.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers to Mike Pence's presidential campaign too. Him and Tim Scott. I think Tim Scott dropped out too. R.I.P. to those guys. Nikki Haley got endorsed by the Koch brothers, by the Koch Foundation, I guess. So they're going to spend a bunch of money to watch her get like exactly 0 votes.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be fun. Be fun. All right. Well, good luck to you, man. If I don't talk to you before then, Merry Christmas and all that. And safe travels, man.
All
Hope
right.
it works out well for you.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep. Take care. And everybody else, move your ass. We're burning daylight.
Good guys and bad guys, cowboys and Indians, sinners and saints, masters and minions. They're all the same to me. They're all the same to me. Winners and losers, the weak and the strong ones, the young and the old, the right and the wrong ones. They're all the same to me. They're all the same to me. And your politic magic might have fooled everybody, but you didn't fool nothing on me. Choose your battles or bite your tongue, 'cause you know your words have wings. Bar your windows and lock same.